Hello.
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 Welcome back to the Three Strangers podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Bill.
We also have with us our engineer, Skippy Midnight. He is a magician. He knows everything, whether it's audio, whether it's video. He's out here streaming. He is an absolute unit. So please follow him. Do everything you can. And a huge shout out to Sam and Nick, who have come up with an intro for the show.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Big thanks to Sam.
It's so cool. It sounds great. Hopefully it sounds good.
Hopefully it sounds good. Yeah, I'd like to extend that thank you to Sam. He really spiced it up after my composition. He was like he knew the right sounds.
Yeah,
spicy
Sam
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a very spicy guy. So follow him on YouTube at Ruminant. I don't know how he pronounces it. Ruminant Music. He's probably going to comment on the video because he loves us and watches our podcast. So please support him and listen to his music.
All right.
But all right, boys, we're recording this for Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. Does anyone have any special plans on Friday the 13th?
I don't know if you want to go first, Nick, but I'll say this. Friday the 13th are historically, throughout my entire life, very lucky days for me. I have great Friday the 13th. Oh, really?
I've noticed that too.
Sorry, Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. You're unlucky.
I just want to say, knock on wood, Ryan, sorry your Friday the 13th aren't as balling as Nick and I is, apparently. I'm just going to assume you have bad Friday the 13th. How are they usually, Ryan?
I mean, I feel like nothing unordinary has ever happened to me on a Friday the 13th where I've specifically remembered something, you know?
I feel like everybody's high alert that day. I don't know.
Yeah.
At least for a little bit of it.
Yeah. I think in the past I've always gone on dates for the Friday the 13th. It's just like, because it's a Friday, whatever.
That's
Friday. Did you make your date Friday the 13th themed?
Oh yes, I just wind up killing the girl I'm on a date with. That's how I celebrate. I get
You're hardcore. You're hardcore, Nick. That's funny. No, I feel like your date would be superstitious. She's like, oh, like what if it's not Nick? What if it's just a day? Or something? I don't know. It's kind of a catch-all. It's kind of nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we're talking about Friday the 13th, and of course.
Oh,
this
brother.
podcast, we're going to be talking about the movie Friday the 13th, as well as A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. I mean, three iconic slasher movies.
Yeah, and I mean, the trifecta of classics of the 70s, 80s, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask right off the bat, I want to hear your rankings of them from first to third, best to worst. I'm going to ask you, Nick, what is your
shit. Oh man, I was hoping one of you would go first, but it's okay. I like being. I'm gonna go on the spot. So I have a hard time. I think we should preface this. The three of them are good movies. They're classics for a reason. This ranking is probably going to be just personal preference, honestly, when it comes down to it. But yeah. So I'm gonna have to say. I might put Friday the 13th at first. And
what? I'm blown away. Sorry.
Continue. I know. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I just watched it tonight, so I'm thinking I gradually. I don't know. I don't know. I actually before this night, I would have ranked Nightmare on Elm Street as my first. So you know what? Let me do that. I'm going to do Nightmare first, Friday second, Michael Myers third.
No, you can't go.
No, don't switch on what you're going to say. Say what you were going to say.
Yes, what you're going to say.
Yeah, all right. Then I'll do Friday first, Nightmares, close second, and then Halloween third.
Okay. Bill, what would you say?
So, right. We're just to be clear, we're speaking in terms of the original three movies.
Yes, no.
Of those, each of those
series, just,
What's it? Oh gosh, I have such a special place for a new Nightmare in my heart. But I'm gonna say, based on this thing, I'm gonna say Friday the 13th is dead last.
Okay.
Sorry, which is why I was so shocked. And then I would say, in terms of the original movies, next is Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Halloween is first.
Okay.
Damn.
However, I just want to say, like, as we'll get into it, Halloween did not keep its power, did not keep its star power. But anyway, in my opinion, but yeah. So,
all right. So
how about you, Ryan?
For me, I would have to say my last is also Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to switch up your two and say that Nightmare is number 1 for me, and Halloween is number 2, if I had to rank them. And
what's it? I think that's
now,
fair.
since we've ranked them, I'm going to tell you, I've come up with a little game for us. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I have a chart of all of the 3 movies, and I have a list of things that I want us to rank in those movies. And by the end of it, I want to see, in terms of that, which one we would say is the best movie to third. So, like, for example, we'll say the story, like the overall story. We'll give one the number 1, one number 2, one number 3. Right?
Cool.
So let's say we give Halloween
Cool.
number 3, Friday number 2, and then Nightmare number 1, which I would not even say that. I would disagree with that very heavily. But we're going to go through the list, and then by the end, I will add it up, and we will see, based on those criteria, which movie is number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now, of course, this isn't perfect. This is the tell-all. But I think it would be fun to see, like, if we did that, which one would be number 1, which one would be number 2, and number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
That makes sense. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Can't wait for my opinions to be subverted by me.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I have some pretty good like different topics within them. I'm not gonna give them away yet.
Okay.
But you know what? Let's just jump right into it, and we'll start with, which one do you think has the best story? And I'm going to start with you, Bill.
Which one do I think has the best story? Okay, right away.
Give a reason why.
Right away. Okay, right away I can eliminate Friday the 13th. It's very, very loose story thing. But if we're talking in terms of best story, oh man. I guess when it comes down to me, what is the most important plot point of a slasher movie? And I guess it would be the origin of the slasher, right?
Yeah,
that's like the main thing.
Totally.
And man, both of them are so good because, oh geez, like you have Freddy, and Freddy is so dynamic and interesting, and he's so like creepy, sort of like vigilante justiced by the town. And like, I mean, he was not a good person or anything, but and then you have Michael Myers, and you don't even know why he does the things he does. He's even a real person. We can get into that later. I would say best overall story. I'm just thinking about it in my head. Nightmare on Elm Street. Just because of the dynamicity of is that a word? I hope so.
The dynamic.
The dynamic range of Freddy Krueger, and I will say though, I think Jodie Foster's character. Oh geez, what's her name? This is embarrassing. In Halloween, Jodie Foster's character in Halloween. This is embarrassing. She is a better female lead. Than the female lead.
Do you mean Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is the
Jamie Lee Curtis. I mess those two up all the freaking time. It's Jamie Lee Curtis. This is like so embarrassing.
Halloween.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, what character is he focusing on? Okay. Yeah.
But okay.
Okay, I'm gonna recover from that. Anyway. Sorry.
Okay, so you would say that.
Go on.
Sorry, Nick. But I was gonna say, so you would say Nightmare would be for you 3. So like you would give all 3 points to Nightmare, you would give 2 points to Halloween and 1 point to Friday. One being like you don't want the least amount of points.
Yes, that order. The Nightmare is the best.
Okay.
Right. Friday is the worst.
Also, I should say for this is going to be something we all have to agree on. It's not going to be each one gives their own separate numbers. So we're going to have to try to find a middle ground.
Oh no.
Okay. Maybe this will make it easy. I agree with Bill.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank the Lord, because I agree with Bill too.
Okay. Woo! Yeah. Oh, no, I do. Yeah. He's got motive. So he's definitely like you aren't supposed to like him, but he's got a motive for getting back at the town, and it's fully reasonable. I mean, like in the logic that's created by the movie, it is fully reasonable. His actions are fully reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that Nightmare has the most compelling antagonist as well, just because of the amount of backstory that they give him, which really just adds to the story itself. Halloween, I feel like does like that isn't to say that Halloween doesn't do a good job of creating what it did create, but with Friday the 13th, I just feel like everything, like I don't even want to say cliched because by then nothing was really cliched, but like if you were to look at it now, it's such a cliche movie. It felt like even at the time, I feel like there wasn't that much that was new that they were trying to do.
Even down to like stormy weather, you know, it was so many cliches in that movie, you know. And of course, they're gonna get caught out in a rainstorm, whatever, you know.
Okay, I'm very glad that we all agree with that. I think there will be some that we will end up disagreeing and have to find the middle ground somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like we keep shitting on Friday the 13th. Continue.
What this is about to become. Yeah. But okay, so number 2, if you guys don't really know them, it's okay. But for number 2, I have the score, ranking the scores of each movie. Like its main theme.
No.
This is tough.
So I'm going to start out with my opinion.
Sure.
So I'm going to say for me, the best one has to be the Halloween theme, just because I feel like that's the most iconic. Everyone knows it. And like, just because everyone knows it doesn't mean that like, you know, it feels like, oh, like it's popular or something like that. Like it's really well done. It's spooky. It's heard all over the movie. You hear it, you automatically think of Michael Myers.
Very effective. Very effective.
Exactly.
Minimal.
For what it tries to do and like the different sound that it created from like different scores at the time. I mean, John Carpenter just did a fantastic job with it. So I would say that's 3. Number 2, I would say is Friday the 13th. Because I don't mind the score to Friday the 13th. I think that's one of the best qualities about it, actually.
I agree. Yeah.
Yes, I would say it's a shining moment and not a very good film. Yeah.
But for me, like I hate saying it, but for me the worst score would have to be Nightmare for me.
It's grating.
Right. Which is not to say it's bad. It really isn't. I mean, these are all 3. These are, I think the late 70s and early 80s were a time where people realized truly how music and sound effects and dissonance can really have an impact on the audience's perception of what was going on. And I think something we have to keep in mind too is what's interesting is Nightmare came after these 2. So was Nightmare doing anything original? Probably not. They were just kind of creating. To me, it was more just niche for 80s music, whereas Halloween was setting a precedent.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, my only thing, I actually have a bit of fun. I think we all agree. I think we all agree pretty much. I was going to say the exact same thing. I had a bit of a Mandela effect with the thing. So the most iconic part of Friday the 13th score is the like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't replicate it thing, but if you listen to the original score, it's like you know, but I thought that it's saying Jason, like Jesus, right? Does that happen in later movies?
It kind of like there's different sounds that they also do because there's also like the like that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it. That's probably the most iconic part of Halloween, which is the funny thing. Like that specific, like the and the like that.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's just so I don't know. My thing was as I thought that like the was them saying but I could be completely bonkers.
that would be an interesting question for because that's I don't know.
I would ask Sean Cunningham, who's the director of Friday the 13th, like if.
Oh yeah, I'll get him on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll call him up right now. We'll say, like,
Somebody-
why did
somebody
you
get
do?
him. Can we get a guy? Can we get a guy to contact him?
It's very spooky. It's very spooky sound design.
It is.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, so our next one I have is actually profit. So whichever this one is more so
Oh.
factual, like whichever one has
All right.
the best profit will go.
Whereas, I mean, so
Magic list.
Bill's got the numbers. Ryan, should we guess what the numbers are?
Well,
let's do it.
do you want to give the making cost, the
Yes.
budget of each film, and then try to guess it based on that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'll give the cost, and then I'll give the cost adjusted for inflation based on the year.
Big brain.
Ooh, okay.
So Halloween, I think this is probably the most infamous, the most famous part. One of the most famous parts of Halloween is it was $300,000 US budget adjusted for inflation, 1.2 million today. 300,000 was a very small number, though. Still, it is the smallest number of these three, because Friday the 13th in 1981 was $700,000 US dollars as a budget. Adjusted for inflation is about 2 million. And The Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984 had a 1.8 million budget, with adjusted for inflation was 4.5 million.
It's weird because if I were to watch Halloween and Friday the 13th, I would say that Halloween probably had more money because I feel like it does more with what it has than Friday the 13th did.
So Halloween was 1978 even 1978. Crap. And when was Friday the 13th?
It was
1980.
80.
Wow.
81.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Halloween looks so much better on so much less money.
It does.
So weird.
It was made 1980 but released 1981 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Guessing?
So, okay, let's start with Halloween.
Okay.
Let's start with Halloween. So this is, I'm pretty sure the numbers I looked up are lifetime earnings of just the thing of the film, not what it made back in the day on its initial release.
Okay.
So this is a little tough. This is lifetime earnings of the film. You'll still be impressed, I'm sure.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So is this is the number, just so I kind of know, like myself, is it between like 100 million and like 500 million, somewhere in there, or is it like a 75 million somewhere within there?
It's I will give you this. It's less than 100 million, but given the fact that it was made on less than on $300,000, it's an amazing figure.
Yeah, I was
several
wondering,
times. Yeah,
like, so I kind of knew like what it was trying to get from, like if it was just that release or if it was also counting like DVD sales, stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is lifetime gross of the film, just as the entity of itself.
All right.
Any guesses?
I'm gonna say 75 million.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say close to that. So I'll just go out and say 85 million.
The answer is
$1.
Yeah, exactly. $300,000. It is indeed $70 million. $70 million.
Oh yeah.
Off of 300,000. That's so how many times? So impressive. That's oh my god, so many times it's money. I almost want to do like a quick calculation of it, but it's to make that much money, especially like just in its lifetime, thing. Because there's certain, films that have, made a lot more, but they cost so much more to make.
Yeah.
It made 233 times its budget.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, I added to it since I bought the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for
for the
helping us out.
$5 that I spent on that.
$5, really? Wow.
Yeah, $5. FYE. Sponsor us.
Sponsorship, please.
Please have FYE. I literally every movie I buy is like from there.
FYE is great. Well, like not to turn this into an FYE commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that place. I do love that place. I bought some weird stuff from there over the years. But
Whoa.
all right.
Whoa. It's just
No. What I said. I mean, okay. There's this type of Mountain Dew that I like, and it's a
It's okay.
fight. No, they actually do sell this like I believe it's like Asian market only Mountain Dew. It's really good.
Oh.
Yeah, very very horror movie related. Pretty horrific. That I cannot get my hands on it. No. But what's it? You want to do Nightmare on Elm Street now?
Yeah, sure.
Nightmare.
Sure. Nightmare. No, so 1984, 1.8 million budget.
Lifetime
gross.
I'm gonna go 100 million.
Okay.
I'm just gonna swing for the fences with this one.
100 million in one? No. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say 300 million. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You're really swinging for the fences. Nightmare on Elm Street made 89.1.
Wow, not
million.
even 100.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, I think the big thing is that like these were like huge blockbuster films, but I don't know like what is the difference between like a slasher film and something like Jaws? You know what I'm saying? Jaws made
Jaws is like thriller. I feel like would be like the automatic difference I think of. I feel like Jaws is more of a thriller than like just pure slasher.
Jaws also cost so much more to make, you know? So, like, it's one of those things, like, you can either rate success by how much it made based on these really puny budgets, or you could rate it based off of, like, the ultimate thing. And then finally, how about Friday the 13th? What do you guys think?
All right, Nick, I went first last time, so you can.
All right, Friday 13th.
Hey, no looking up answers.
No,
I see that.
This is my notes.
I see that.
My notes. So $700,000 US budget.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
Let's say 90 million.
You have a lot of faith in Friday the 13th.
I was gonna say. I was gonna go. I was gonna go 40 mil. 40 mil.
Wow. Okay. Finally, an undershoot. It made 59.8 million, which
okay.
I was gonna say 60 million, but then I went no, it probably made lower. 40 million.
Insanely close. We did that, but you know what it is like. Once again, like the lowest. I don't want to say the lowest performing, but I mean, to make over 60 times your budget, that's insane. It's like 100 times, I think. Wow, it's crazy.
Okay, so just to make sure I have this, it goes Nightmare made the most money, Halloween the second most, and Friday the third most.
Sure, I could do quick calculations for how much they made based on. Like, do you want to do that? Like, how much they cost them?
Like release?
Oh, I mean, honestly, that's fine. The numbers that you gave is perfect.
Really?
Like
okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Because what's it?
Just pure profit.
Okay, you want pure profit? Sure. Then it was Nightmare Halloween 13th. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Not a lot of surprise.
This one I'm interested to see your guys' answer.
All right.
So for this one, the next one is Final Girl. Which movie has the best final girl?
Ryan's out here like, okay, guys, let's objectify. No.
Well, if we're talking frankly, Ryan.
So I have to start with. I was recently watching a review of, I think it was Halloween, and they were just the guy mentioned how there was this weird objectification of women where there was like sex appeal in the beginning, and then slasher.
Yes, that was the slasher genre, like how it became a thing. Like it's a
coming of age,
emails and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then just people getting brutally murdered.
Yeah, which is all dark and disturbing and weird if you think about how that came to be.
Yeah,
but so do you mean like acting performance or character?
All of the above. Acting, the best, like character performance. The best decisions, all of the above. If we were gonna put them all together, like, do you want me to start and kind of give reasons why I feel?
Sure.
You start.
Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but like, of course, I'm willing to change. Right. I would have to say that the worst final girl for me, and this isn't saying that she's bad, would be Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis.
What?
And I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel like out of all of them, she made the dumbest decisions in basically everything. And like, so when Michael, like, she stabs him and then she just kind of sits there for a little bit. She does something, she just kind of sits there and waits for him to come. Yeah. Instead of leaving the house, she goes upstairs. Yeah. It feels like every smart decision she could have made, she never makes. And on top of that, Jamie Lee Curtis's acting in the movie isn't the best. It's her one of her first performances. It's not the best performance that she's given. And
I sense a disagreement coming. All right.
I'm good with switching, but that's for me. That's my reasons why I have her as the worst. And I love Laurie Strode as a character. Because she becomes a very strong female presence and character within the horror genre, like later on in other movies. But if I were to look at the first Halloween alone, she makes very bad decisions and feels like she always gets into trouble for those bad decisions and gets very lucky by Donald Pleasance coming in and saving her.
Yeah.
And by Donald Pleasance, I mean Dr. Loomis. I was just saying the actor's name. But okay, so that's my number one worst. And that's saying worst. She's not the worst, but final girl. So number 2, I'm going to have Alice from Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And for the only reason that I have her ranked above Laurie is because she's able to kill Pamela Voorhees. Like, she has that final fight and is strong enough to fend her off.
She fights her.
And I think for that reason alone, that's kind of why I rank her a little bit higher, because she really fights her. Like, it's like a 10-minute sequence of them fighting to where finally she picks up the machete and just cuts her head off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which also, the effects for that are pretty cool. I do like the effects for that kill. But
to the beheading.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would put her as the second best, and for me, number 1. I feel like this is no debate for me, but like, of course, I'm always listening. It has to be Nancy Thompson. It feels like even if she isn't making the smartest decision, she has planned it out as close as she could. Like when she has to go pull out Freddy to like enact her plan, she's like, okay, Glenn, you need to be up so you could wake me up when this happens. Like, it feels like she tried to plan for every single thing. She was setting alarm clocks. She was smart enough to, when she was in the one dream, to hit the pipe so that it would wake her up. It feels like she would make every smart decision that you could have possibly made in the movie. And also, her acting is very good. Even for like horror at the time, like, it was very good acting. So I would say that would be my ranking, but I am, of course, open to changing if you guys very strongly disagree. But I'd like to hear what you guys think.
Okay,
Bill's cringing over here.
Like, no, you go, Nick. I'm still trying to prepare arguments in my head.
So I definitely would be my thing about Alice from Friday the 13th is most of the movie. It's weird. Most of the movie, and this is probably going to come up again. I personally cared. I wound up caring about the characters, but that doesn't mean that their acting was good. It was just more of the way that they were that they were attempted to be characterized. Like, you get to know a little bit of their personality styles, despite their bad acting. But then Alice in the second act of the movie, maybe the second half of the second act of the movie really turns it up. Yeah. And when she's on the screen, especially in the last 15 minutes, I think it's the best acting performance of that movie. Mm-hmm.
I would agree.
But my thing is, I don't know if that warrants it being second above the Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie.
Going off what you said, Nick, I really like. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely had a closed mind when you said you're like, yeah, Laurie Strode, bottom of the list. I was like, what? So I guess if we're talking in terms of pure them as characters, pure heroics, I definitely get putting Nancy Thompson at the top of the list. And you're absolutely right about Laurie, that she makes not great decisions. But I think in terms of pure overall acting and how much I probably care for Laurie Strode the most, but I don't think that deserves her to be the top spot. I think Nancy is pretty badass. I think she kicks ass. I would say my ranking is with Nick's, where it's probably Nancy, Nancy to Laurie Strode to Alice. Alice Hardy is just, ooh, I want to like her, and I want to find a good protagonist in Friday the 13th. Kevin Bacon doesn't cut it. Kevin Bacon is Kevin Bacon, right? It is Kevin Bacon, right?
It is a young Kevin Bacon, yeah.
Okay, thank goodness. And I love Kevin Bacon. So I just want to say that thing. Thank goodness I didn't botch Jamie Lee Curtis with Jodie. That's embarrassing. I can't believe I did that. I was confused in my head, but no. Because then who's the famous young guy in Nightmare on Elm Street? Johnny Depp. Of course, his first film role, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it was his debut.
Was it his debut?
Yeah, I think it's his debut.
It's that, yeah, and then I think soon after is What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Is that
that's a good movie.
That's a fantastic movie.
Fantastic movie. We'll talk about that. No.
I do want to say, just for an argument's sake for Laurie Strode, she is one of the most iconic female protagonists in all of horror. I will not deny that. She is, oh my god, she is up there. But what you said about you care for Laurie, would you say you care for her because she was looking after the children, or that you care for her as the character herself and not just as a guardian?
I think because, let me form some things here. Halloween is a very compact movie. It's John Carpenter's style to make movies like that, where it's very this is my story. There's not a lot of thrills. It's a very 80s way of writing, and he really kind of jumped the gun by 78. I think that we are given enough of Laurie Strode's life in the beginning, and we get enough characterization of her through what she chooses to do. It's so weird because she's really sucked into the whole murder spree of Michael Myers. It's not like she's directly targeted. I'm getting that right? Her house with the kid she's babysitting is not targeted. She goes to a house, and then she finds her friends are dead. And then Michael Myers is like, oh, we gotta kill you. right?
Well, he's
Am I
been
remembering that
stalking
wrong?
her for most of the movie.
Right, that's true. Also, why does he stalk her? That's an interesting question. We could get
There was
into.
like a weird plot point that they try to add in later movies where they're brother and sister.
The sister,
I
yeah,
don't like that.
garbage.
Yeah, that's an
garbage.
important concept to talk about when it comes to the general ranking.
Yeah.
But I would say if you would concede, if you would please concede.
I'm okay with conceding
Sir,
because you too.
Mr. Holleran, oh my gosh, I can't put Laurie Strode at the bottom of a list, especially with Alice. Alice is good, she's cool, but I just
not long
know.
enough. She's not cool for long enough.
I can understand that. I understand that.
Like the big problem. Yeah, oh, sorry. Go.
Like for me, I was gonna say like it sucked putting Laurie third for me, but like when I like was rewatching them and like I was kind of like Alice, like does more, like it felt like she did more, and like, but I'm okay with putting Alice last. Like it's not gonna hurt me or anything like that.
For some reason, I just can never remember that Alice is the main protagonist of the original film. I don't know why it always is like that for me. I feel like that movie struggles with that.
It does, yeah. Because you would never.
It jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's gonna be the you think it's gonna be the the owner, and then you think it's gonna be the girl who winds up dying in the woods. You think, that's the impression that you get. Yeah, you're right. So Ryan, you're right. It just kind of jumps around, and by the end of it, you're like, oh, I guess she's gonna be the one that survives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But all right, I got a very good one next, and it's which one is the best antagonist. So we're doing it. Michael Myers versus Freddy versus Jason.
Jason's mom,
Jason,
right?
Mrs. Voorhees,
Mrs. Voorhees, right? Because if we're talking about okay, so what are we doing here? Are we? We're doing Jason or is it Jason's mom?
But we can, if we want, we can add Jason to it because he does make a guest appearance at the end of the movie in a dream.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the best scenes of that entire movie.
It made me jump. That was I was totally still and entertained the entire time, and then that happened, and I should have seen it coming, and I still was like. I was like, oh shit! Like, it happened.
That's a really good shot. That's a really good shot.
Yeah.
Who do you want to start?
I started last time, so you know what? I'm gonna just throw one of you out there, Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
It really comes down to motive for me, and I have to say. Freddy Krueger. His backstory is so developed, and then even at the end, it makes sense why he's spoiler still alive. Whereas, we mentioned in Halloween, it's not really clear. You said they add in to justify something in the first movie in a future movie. Really, I feel like just doesn't do it is a very amateur way to do it. It's kind of like trying to put what's it called over pen. Well,
it felt like they tried to crayon in stuff after the fact of we missed this in this movie, so then now we'll try to explain it in this movie.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be a sequel. Should not be a revision. It should be a continuation, and it just doesn't. And that really turned me off about Halloween, which I think why it's on the bottom of my 3 list, because there was a point where I would get frustrated and think, why is this happening? And I was so trying to focus on that I lost focus on the movie itself. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have to say, like, top would be Freddy Krueger, and then Jason, just because I mean they do have kind of a gradual story that picks up towards the end. And while
I will say, sorry for cutting you off, but we'll say like for Friday the 13th with Pamela and Jason, put a little bit more ranking within Pamela than Jason. since she is the main of that movie.
Yeah, no, that is fair. It's a redemption. It's a revenge story for his mom, and that I like that part, and it's a twist. I definitely think it would be considered a twist part of it. But it just I don't know. I mean, that's why it's second. Like it's good. It's just I don't think it's as good and elaborate as as Freddy Krueger. I mean, to stalk your dreams. I think the big thing I used to talk about with Nightmare on Elm Street was Freddy Krueger literally took placed fear in the one place that we all consider our peace. Our dreams, and when we go to sleep at night, we know that we can shut out life for a while, and Freddy doesn't let that happen. And I feel like that fear and aspect alone of Freddy Krueger is unique and puts him on top for me.
All right. I do want to fuss with you a little bit, but I'm going to let Bill go next.
Oh man, there's so many factors to what what makes a good slasher villain, right? Like what makes it a good thing. I would say in terms of pure motivation, Freddy has every reason in the world. Jason and Jason's mom has every reason in the world. Mike Myers really doesn't. But I wanna include an important note on that. So in the original, you guys probably already know this, but in the original credit sequence for I think I talked about this at Ryan's house once. In the original credit sequence for Halloween, Michael Myers is referred to as the Shape.
Yes.
Now, what is the Shape? People think it's the shape of evil. And it's just that's why he always wears a mask. Because he has to take some sort of corporeal form, or the force of evil has to take a corporeal form. So then if you're an unrelenting force of evil, I guess you really don't need a reason to do the things that you do. But I just want to say that's an awesome concept. Totally shit on in the rest of the franchise. Never, I don't think they ever come back to it. Do they? No. Isn't that a bad witch? Coven scene.
Then they start doing weird kind of things with witches and babies, and it gets really weird.
Not for me. I would say, oh man, if we're ranking it just on the first one, then if we're ranking it just based on the first movie, I think for me, I gotta say. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, Mrs. Voorhees. I guess that we're talking about in terms of also pure character design. I believe that Mrs. Voorhees could beat the crap out of someone. Do I believe that she's a great look for a villain, even if she's just an old woman? Not really. There's scary.
I feel like you could just kick her in the hip, and then she's out for the count.
She's not intimidating.
Yeah.
She's not intimidating. When you see her, and I'm like, yes, it was me. You let my child die. It's just not intimidating. Of course, Jason is all kinds of intimidating, except in Jason Takes Manhattan. That's a whole other story. We could talk a lot about that. But anyway, so I guess my thing, Jason's mom's / Jason kind of. Well, Jason's so cool at the end. No, I'm gonna stick with it. Jason's mom, what's his face? Mike Myers or the Shape, and then I almost said Robert Englund.
No, that's not
what's his face? Freddy Krueger.
Okay. So I would like to say I agree with Nightmare being number one. Freddy is by far the best antagonist. He has the best motives. Okay. He has some very fun kills, which that'll be a category later. I'll give that little hint up. And I will say, it's so much fun. Robert Englund does such a great job in that role. And he's funny.
So much personality.
He's funny.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's very good. It's very good.
But
Wes Craven, though.
Halloween for me with Michael Myers has to be number 2. And I will say, the reason that I place it that highly is I agree with what Bill was saying with the shape, that it's more so like of an entity than an actual person who needs motive. And I think that's really shown, which I think is probably my favorite part of all of these movies and every scene, is Dr. Loomis's speech about evil. That is such an iconic scene, such good acting. Like,
yeah, it's a good monologue.
And just like him describing Michael Myers as evil, that the whole thing of like, what is evil, and like all of that. And like, it really embodies what Michael Myers really is as a character, that he's evil and like that he's not like this, he's not human anymore.
No, sorry, I really like that monologue too. I just gotta say one, please, just one caveat on that. Okay. Now, Nick, you're training to be a you're training to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
A psychologist, a counselor. Yeah, yeah,
a counselor, right? Is it standard practice to refer to your patients as evil?
No.
Dr. Loomis has just had enough.
Great monologue. I totally agree with you when you mentioned it. I was like, it's like really one funny of that movie. He's evil. It's so funny. It's so
funny that he's doing that. How he's like making fun of little kids and scaring the shit out of them, like as a character. It's like, wow, this man is doing all of this as like this really important job.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I mean, maybe, and you know what? Maybe like if I were to put like a counter perspective on that spin, is it's not, you would never call your client evil, and also who is the creator of Halloween? John Carpenter. John Carpenter, in an interview and in a documentary that he has. I wish I could remember the name of it, but he said the character Michael Myers was inspired by a time when he went to a kid's mental hospital and he looked at this young 13-year-old boy who, he said, just had that look, and it haunted him relatively to that day. But then that was his inspiration. Right. To create, and that's always what he thought about when creating Mike Myers. And I think there's like a negative stigma that he might have accidentally created with mentally ill people, because a lot of people, I've seen this, a lot of people try to diagnose Mike Myers, and they try to humanize him and say what mental disorder he has, and it kind of leaves like a hopeless state for the implication is that those who are troubled mentally are hopeless and will just like kill people once they're out. It totally like degrades rehabilitation. So, but that's the concept of me, I think.
I don't know if you saw the same video that I did, but the only credence I really thought is that, like, why does he wear a mask? And it's like, it's so classic just to distance yourself from what you're doing. And you can see he does that as a kid. Also, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Ryan, like, you usually have good trivia like this. I'm pretty sure that when it's the beginning, when it's the two eye holes through the camera, you know what I'm talking about, where like you're supposed to be in Mike Myers' POV. I'm pretty sure that was maybe not the first time, definitely I think the first time in Hollywood that a shot like that was done, where it was like this like character POV through this like, mask. It's so good.
If I remember, very spooky. If I remember, it's either one of the first, if not the first, but I know it was one of the first where it had the sliding shot where it wouldn't like look away or like move to a different camera. The camera would slide and go somewhere else. I do know that's like one of the first times that was used. But
innovative.
Talking about stuff kind of like that, and also I think we are going pretty long, so we'll try to speed up a little bit on something.
Right, yeah.
Although I'm loving the discussion on all of this. So the next one I have are which movie has the best effects? And I'm just going to say right off the bat, I'm just going to tell you my rankings in order because I feel like there's not much need for discussion on them. Nightmare has to be number 1, the best.
Yes.
Halloween has to be number 2, and Friday the 13th has to be number 3.
Yep, that's me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the deaths in Friday the 13th, I mean, maybe is that the next category? That might be the next category.
Very close.
Okay,
it's the second to next one.
Okay, I totally agree.
I was going to say that the next one is memorable moments. So that could be kills because the next one after memorable moments is the best kills.
Okay.
Oh shit!
So you can tie those two together.
Yeah.
So I'll let Bill go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
So this is most memorable moments.
Yes, we'll do memorable moments first, and then best.
Okay. There are some memorable moments that are also best. I guess I'll try to just keep it just the memorable moments. So I guess in that vein, it's probably oh god, why am I being so bad with my thing? Iconography. Like what images I remember for the thing.
Yeah.
Right away my mind immediately is the winner is obviously Nightmare on Elm Street. But then I'm like, maybe not. I would say one of the most memorable moments for me overall of when we're talking about these three films is the very oddly campy moment in Halloween where Mike Myers, the guy goes downstairs. Right? You already know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The ghost.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
The scene with the ghost.
Yeah.
And something about him just standing there. I don't know. And then there's all these moments of Mike Myers first buying the mask, and then you see him from a distance, or Laurie Strode thinks that she sees him from a distance and hiding behind the wash, hiding behind the thing. It's a lot of what you don't see, or just the anticipation of it. I would say, I gotta say Halloween. Oh man, I feel so bad. I don't know many memorable moments other than the whole Jason sequence from. Well, there was this is a kill. I don't know. I know they're playing straight.
I'm okay if you put kills within, because I'm putting some kills within my memorable moments.
Oh yeah, same.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna save my my Nightmare on Elm Street kills because there's one I really want to talk about. I don't know if you guys are on the same way.
Talk about Nightmare kills.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the same, and I mean, I feel like this should just be all in one conversation because the most memorable moments for me of all 3 movies are kills.
Yeah,
except for the
separated them because I was gonna say, at least for me with memorable moments, I automatically think of the evil speech, like I said before. That's memorable for me.
That's fair.
But I'm okay if you put those two together because in the end, we're gonna have to decide together what we think. So
yeah, I mean, I remember Friday the 13th is gonna be last, I think, for me on both of these lists.
It has cool moments. There's the snake killing scene.
Yeah, and that's a real snake. They literally killed a real snake on set.
What?
You're joking.
I'm being dead serious.
Automatic third.
Okay. Okay. I will say I hate snakes. And I don't know if I've talked about how much I dislike snakes. It's a childhood fear of mine up to now. So it's an adult fear of mine.
Okay, Indy.
I just don't like snakes. I know everybody always is oh, you're like Indiana Jones. I'm not like Indiana Jones. Look at me. No, I was kidding. But anyway, what was I gonna say? I can't believe they killed a real snake.
Wow,
that's all I have to say. Wow. That's crazy.
So
okay,
for me,
sure.
With memorable moments, it's a toss up between Halloween and Nightmare for me too. Honestly, right now I'm literally just gonna write a 1 under Friday already. Because I'll just say the most memorable moments for me that I have in that movie is the dream sequence with Jason. Great scene with when she's on the boat and then he comes up.
Very good.
Great scene.
Yeah.
And
I will say,
I always remember the kill of Marcy with the axe. The effects on that kill are very good.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I always remember that.
Who gets killed with the bunk with the knife to the throat?
Yeah.
From below.
That's Jack.
Who? That's Jack. Okay, that's a pretty good kill in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
So
we'll get
for
to
me,
that.
Friday
Yeah.
will be the last one, and
Yeah.
it's so hard because like I rate the evil speech so highly, but I can't argue like the fact that with Nightmare you just have Tina's death, you have the body bag scene in the school, you have the
Mhm.
hand in the bathtub, you have
Mhm.
Glenn's death in the bed. Like,
oh my God, Johnny Depp's like,
Yeah, literally explodes.
yeah,
and I know most of those are deaths, but I mean, oh my God, just moment after moment after moment of memorable scenes that,
yeah,
for me, I have to put Nightmare as the most memorable moments.
yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, it goes back to my Rosemary's Baby thing. One monologue does not make
Yes,
a
and
movie.
that's why I would say Halloween is 2 for me, because it does have its other moments. Like I love when Bob is killed and like the body's just hanging from the knife somehow. I love that. I love when Judith's gravestone is
Oh
empty.
yeah.
Oh,
That's funny.
cool.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
such a
I
good
didn't think
moment.
about that.
But like for me, it has to be Nightmare. But I understand Halloween being
It's true.
Yeah.
number one. I could understand that, but I'm
right.
interested to see
You're right.
Nick, what you think. What do you think?
No,
'Cause
yeah,
basically
I
it's
did.
not-
I did. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Nightmare should be 1.
Okay.
The deaths, the images, so many iconic moments in Nightmare of Elm Street. Oh, the chase, the long arms.
Yes.
Yeah,
When you
Wow.
first see Freddy the first time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
the
cool.
alley scene, I think they're in like a cellar or something. They're in like some kind of industrial plant with pipes or stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that all.
Yeah.
It's been probably a year since I saw the movie, and I still remember all those moments.
Mhm.
Whereas-
Nancy making the traps in the real world.
Yeah,
All of that.
Yes.
Just little tiny
I
details
love-
like that.
I love the one scene with where he has the thing and he's raking them against the railing, taunting Nancy. It makes that sound. Ah, okay. I think we can all agree. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
So, all right, next, best kills. I'm just gonna go right off the bat. Say what I think. I think number 1 has to be Nightmare. I really don't think that's up for discussion.
No.
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I just had to make sure. So this is.
I do have an address. No. We'll like at the end.
All right.
Like I'll just say
Okay.
it's not that important. Yeah.
But now it's best kills between Halloween and Friday. So with Friday, you have the arrow kill with Jack. You have the Marcy kill with the axe, and you have Pamela with the machete. I think I would say those are the most memorable kills. And then with Halloween
And the real world snake.
the real world snake, of course. Yeah, Rip Snake.
Actual kill.
But in terms of Halloween, you have Annie getting killed in the car by getting her throat slit. You have Bob getting stabbed.
Yeah.
And you have Linda getting strangled by the telephone wire as she's calling Lori.
Oh,
that's a rough kill. I forgot.
Oh, I did too.
And at the end, it's like, which one is more memorable? And I think, I'm still fighting this, but I think I'm just going to go with, I have to say Halloween is number 2 because Friday has so many deaths where you don't see people die.
Yeah.
There's too much of like shooting like this and then them being like, and you don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the whole
first
beginning
death.
sequence.
Yeah. The first death is like, she screams and you go, oh, maybe he died. Yeah.
So for me, I would have to say that. But it's the axe kill is so good. The arrow kill is so good. And the machete is very cool.
I think here's where I would tune in with that. There's inconsistency in Friday the 13th because like the axe kill you mentioned before, the makeup is so great. But then the machete kill in the woods is a pretty terrible shot.
It's very bad.
It's you see the bottom half of the knife and you see he just like walks past the tree. There's no aggression. Like Now, see, to me that like it good thing that kill was in the beginning because it probably would have ruined it for a little bit of the violence for me if it wasn't halfway through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it was a penultimate kill, that would have been terrible.
Oh man.
Terrible.
So we all kind of agree with Halloween being.
I think we all agree, but there is for me a small stain on the golden plaque of Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know if it's post credits. I think sometimes it's post credits and sometimes it's not.
I know which one you're gonna say.
But the window through the door. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh, we're gonna be talking about that later. Save that because we're gonna be talking about it later.
It's like they ran out of money. And they were just like, "Hey, this is gonna look terrible, whatever."
But
like,
I do want to say with best kills before we move on to the next thing because I feel like this is something we need to talk about with best kills. Tina's death. Oh my god, top 5 kill in a horror movie of all time. That death just gets embedded in your mind when you just see the claw marks just go straight through her chest and then just see her body just contort and then move up the wall with the blood. Oh my god.
Oh gosh, that's
so gruesome. Such a gruesome kill. The hand in the that's not a kill, but that's a very cool scene.
The hand in the bathtub, iconic.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. But Glenn's death with the bed. Oh my god, he just gets sucked up and the other things get sucked up and then just boom.
Bam. Yeah.
I heard that's where most of the budget of the movie went, is in that whole they had to flip the room.
Yeah.
They had to flip the room and then make the blood spill out. I don't know
that's why you could see the weird blood lines where like that doesn't make sense how it looks like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
The room is flipped up. I know it's weird, but yeah.
Yeah, but all right, next category. Acting. Which movie is the best acted out of all of them?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
So for me, I'm just gonna go with my opinion right away.
Sure.
Friday has to be the worst acted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it is.
It has to be.
Sorry, Kevin.
The drowning, the jokes about the like, sometimes I just think about kissing women, and it's like and the two of them are kissing behind them, and they're like, he's like totally showing that he's like, all right, best friends making out in the back, and me in the passenger seat all to myself.
That's okay. Sorry, that's the movie with Strip Monopoly. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate Monopoly. I hate it. Okay.
Number 2 has to be Halloween. There's some very great performances. Donald Pleasance. Because Nightmare has to be number 1. I feel like it has the best characters, and they feel like teenagers. Like they don't feel like a grown woman. Like. Playing a teenager.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. It definitely. Wow, my mind just went blank. But best ensemble of actors of the 3, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and Robert Englund's so amazing as I mean, you don't do much as Mike Myers. Your physicality is there, but that's pretty much it. And then they got. Although I will say, props to the guy that was the Michael Myers unmasked, because he looks strange, like childlike almost. I don't know. That was good. That was good. But yeah, right. I think we agree.
We have 2 more categories left.
All right.
Wow, this is extensive.
Yeah,
I like
we were getting into details. So before, Bill, you were talking about the ending of Nightmare. But before we start talking about the endings, which is one of the category, we're going to talk about the intros, the beginning sequences of each movie. So I'm going to say what they are, just to help in case. Like,
do that. Yeah.
You don't know. So for Halloween, Michael Myers killing his sister, Judith, that whole entire scene.
Very good.
Oh, the boy. as a boy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Michael Myers as a boy killing.
Okay.
Well, okay, yes, but I mean, like, yeah.
I have a thing to say about that opening scene.
For Friday the 13th, I literally just wrote for the intro for it, just stupid kills. I didn't even write anything more. Because it's not memorable at all.
No, it's not.
And then for Nightmare, it's Freddy making the gloves. Is the opening scene.
Of course.
Oh, right in the shop. Or wherever he is, the shed.
So I'm just going to get out of the way. We're just going to give Friday 1 point. I would just like to say that Friday the 13th is not last in one category, and the rest, it's all in last.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's not in last, like overall. Like, what?
Oh, no.
I think we yeah.
I will say, though, it would have had 2 not in last if it wasn't for Final Girl, but, you know, I'm okay with Laurie Strode being ahead of it. I would just want to say that's the one debate we had with Friday the 13th to not be in last in one of the categories. But okay. Nick, I'm going to start with you. Michael Myers killing his sister as a kid, or Freddy making the gloves? Which one is better?
You know what? I'm gonna be flat out and say Halloween. I think because it's that grotesque nature of watching a kid who's not a doll. I mean, of course, if you've seen Child's Play, like there's that appeal, like, oh my god, that doll is killing, but this is an actual boy killing an adult, and like that break of purity is just, I think, is the most compelling of the 3.
Bill, what do you think?
To put, like I'll get into like a thing, but like my lighter note of, like, I agree with you, Nick.
Okay.
Like, Halloween. Okay. Mike Myers' sister's boyfriend goes up to her room, and it's implied that they're going to have sex.
And it's like for 5
and
seconds,
then
and then he comes
I was like, holy crap there, champ. Holy crap, champ. Bro. Something did not go right. And then he literally leaves, and like he's like gone. And I'm like, huh? Like, so sorry, that's my lighthearted moment. But yeah, just him just like putting on the mask and just how it looks, and he grabs the knife and you know what he's going to do, and you're like, oh my goodness, you know. And then like the sister's like, oh, like, why are you wearing that stupid mask? And then he just kills her.
Yeah.
I don't know. In 1978, that must have been absolutely like, that must have like blown people away. Almost like I always make comparisons to Alien with like the chest burster scene.
Yeah.
Not as shocking as the chest burster scene, but definitely like, whoa, he just killed someone. It was literally a 10-year-old kid. And he just did it. He just felt like it. And there's like no dialogue. It's so effective. Although Freddy making his gloves is also like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to Halloween though.
Like, of course, I agree. Halloween definitely has the most iconic opening. It definitely has one of the most iconic openings in a horror movie of all time. Everyone remembers it. That's just something everyone remembers about that movie. Because I feel like with Nightmare, you don't always remember that that's how the movie starts.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I would put it second. Not to say it isn't a good scene, because it's very interesting. But yeah, it would have to be second, and Friday, of course, is going to be last. But all right, our last category, the endings of these movies. And it's really funny, but right off the bat, Nightmare, you are getting a solid 1.
It's so bad. I honestly, I'm like you guys talk for a little bit. I gotta see it just to describe how, like, remember how bad it is. It's so
okay. Hot take. I loved the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, and I think, you know, I don't know. I loved it. I didn't see it coming, and yeah. I will say it doesn't make sense, and that, like, afterwards, it's after that jump goes away. You're like, wait, what? I liked it in the moment. I like it in the moment, but as far as, like, I mean, if I'm going to compare the endings of the other two, I'm not going to put it above it. But I will say, like, I was very entertained by the last one in maybe a way that I shouldn't have been, but I was.
So with that ending scene,
yeah,
there's just so much wrong with it. I mean, the Freddy Mobile where you see
I'm watching
oh,
all the friends, and then the mom get pulled through. I feel like it was such a betrayal to the fantastic movie that we watched for the entire runtime.
yeah.
And I know that Wes Craven has said multiple times that was studio. That wasn't him that did that ending. They wanted to add that to the end and basically forced it on because he said I did not want to add that.
Like Freddy lives.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a betrayal to the rest of the movie and kind of gets rid of everything that Nancy did that was so good for it to be just such a weak ending, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. Sorry, Wes Craven. That all sucks.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's a minute and a half of pure stupidity. It's like, ooh, the Freddy with the cover and it's a sweater. It's so campy. I can't even begin.
And the fact that you could see it's a doll getting pulled through. You see the switch to the doll.
Yeah. It's so stiff. I totally understand where you're coming from, Nick. I gotta give Nightmare on Elm Street 1, which is I think it's only one.
Oh no,
right?
it's a second one. The score.
Oh, what else did you get?
The score.
Oh, but that was close. I mean,
it was close. It was very close.
Yeah, that was.
I can understand.
But, all right, here we go. Halloween or Friday the 13th. Which one has the better ending? I am very interested to hear what you guys have to say. So I'm gonna let Nick go first.
Don't let me go first. I don't remember the Halloween ending.
Oh, do you want me to basically kind of say
you want to
sure. Or I could look it up. Yeah, whatever. Whichever.
So for the ending of Friday the 13th, of course, it's the dream sequence.
Yes.
So
and
good.
Yes.
For Halloween, so I'm going to count the ending sequence after Michael Myers gets shot off the balcony. So from then on, I will say it's the ending sequence. And from there, he's gone. They look down and he's just gone and you don't know where he is. And it just cuts to Laurie crying, and you just hear the breathing as it cuts to the different locations where people were just brutally murdered. And then just goes into the credits.
That's pretty good.
So I guess then I'll start.
Yeah, you start.
It's a very good ending, Halloween.
Yeah.
It's very effective in what it wants to do. But for the first time, I feel like I have to put Friday the 13th as the best ending of all of them for that dream sequence alone. And you look at it now and it feels kind of corny, but you really didn't expect it when you were watching it. You're like, oh, something might happen. Oh, what if Pamela comes out? But no. And she just wakes up.
I don't want to give it to Friday.
I know. That's why I'm in so much pain.
It is.
I would have to say I'd have to put Friday as the best ending. I'm saying it out loud and I really don't like what I'm saying.
I will say, in my opinion, I think honestly, Nick, it'll probably come down to you as a tiebreaker because not really as a tiebreaker, but as a thing. I think that there's parts of the dream sequence at the end of Friday the 13th that are incredibly effective and incredibly amazing. It is for me, I can definitively say for the first Friday the 13th film, the most iconic moment from that film. I think it's definitely what sticks with me, what has stuck with me. Just much like the end of Sleepaway Camp was the most thing. Well, I know how much you love Sleepaway Camp, Ryan. We can talk about that and what's the parallels between those two. But
that'd be such a good podcast.
Well, I love to talk about that. Actually, wow, that sounds awesome. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Right, and then Halloween. I understand what Carpenter was going for. It's this could be you, and he's still on the loose, he's still rampaging small town America, and it's good. I remember that my stomach definitely sank when you look over the edge and of course he's not gonna be there, of course he's gone.
Yeah.
it's effective. I guess I would give a slight edge to Friday the 13th, just in terms of it is a jump scare. Oh, I don't know. This is tough. All right, you go, Nick.
See, okay. It's interesting. They do both. I want to say like the acting performance in Halloween at the end is so great. I mean, you see her break down, and it all just kind of comes to her at a movie that is so heightened the entire time, and then it's that like coming back down where you from adrenaline that you go into a panic attack, and you just that's when you succumb to it. It's not for the movie when it's like that, but the uniqueness, I think, I think like if it theatrically Halloween would get the point for me, but cinematically I think
I know where you're coming from with that, because it's like it's such a good ending with Halloween. Like, it's very good, it's very effective. But like for me, the thing is, you don't really remember the ending of Halloween. You just remember him not being there, and that's really it.
You had to remind me. You did
That's why in the end I gave Friday the first place, and also the ending basically sparked Jason. That's how he was created, because people love that.
Yeah, you're right. That is the influence.
That is the origin of Jason. Yeah, Friday the 13th deserves it. It sounds so wrong to say. But,
no, I think that's fair. I agree.
Wow, the first place that Friday the 13th got. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. So
bad, we're now done.
The music. I mean, I think the music had a lot to do with it for me for Friday the 13th as well. It was just you think it's peaceful, and then it's not, and then it's the plot twist of the fact that it's a dream sequence. I'm just saying this while Ryan adds up the scores.
You guys can talk about what you want. I'm gonna add them up. Final thoughts, all that.
Yeah, the music really did it for me, and once again the scores on all three of these movies are great, and lead acting performance definitely is. If we're talking about individual acting performances, or singular acting performances of a lead character, I mean, Halloween is she really takes what she can get out of the maybe relatively poor writing of her character, maybe the direction, yes. But her, I mean, at the end, the ending is just the endings again between Halloween and Friday the 13th are just, they're great. They really are great epitomes of acting for the movie.
Like for me, like I know where this is coming. Like I see the writing on like Friday the 13th is gonna get last, obviously, and
it's very close.
I'm sure. Like Little League, it's really a participation trophy to Friday the 13th. But my thing is, it's not a bad movie. I just want to say, I don't think it's like a bad. Well, I think it's it's maybe a bad movie, but is it a bad slasher? No.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good slasher. But like, I mean, if I'm just like throwing numbers out there, like I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. But the other movies are like, 8.5 out of 10. Like it's just, and we're not breaking new ground with our thing. Like most people can agree that like it's just not good. It's really the second one, I think, and the third one, maybe. I'd have to look. The people are like starting to be like, actually, I think the third one sucks. Maybe the second one's good. Is Friday the 13th a bad franchise? We'll talk about it.
Let me just say, I'll jump in. Friday the 13th franchise is so freaking bad, but I've watched almost all of them. No, I don't think I could ever binge watch all of the Friday the 13th series ever.
No.
There's stinkers in there. The most enjoyable one out of all of them, I would say, is the sixth one. I have fun with that one, but that's because it knows what it is. It's stupid. It's meant to be kind of silly, kind of campy, and they do that. Like the sixth one is probably the best one out of all of them. But
don't
you guys ready for the scores?
So, yeah. Like I'm ready to hear the scores, but Ryan, I'm sorry to hear that you feel like the sixth one is the best one in a world where Jason X exists. So I think you should really check. I think you should really check this out.
It's a toss-up. I will say Jason X has some really good kills in it.
Yes, amazing. Well, it's in space. So
that's the one in space. Yeah.
Some very good kills in it. So like that, I give that for. But all right, in third place with a very respectable score of 14 is Friday the 13th.
That's funny. That's really funny if you think about it.
Wait, it got okay, sorry. I just have to wait. So what is the minimum score that you could possibly how many categories were there?
There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There was 11. So the minimum
was 11.
was 11. It got 14.
So it got 13.
No, it got 14.
14. It got 14. Oh, I thought I got there. Oh, okay. Let's rearrange.
Shoot,
this.
yeah, hold on. Wait. Okay, which one are we rearranging? All right, ending. You know what? Halloween, you did it.
Halloween, you really did it. You really did it.
All right, with a score of 13 was Friday the 13th.
That's really good. That's really good.
Okay, with the score, so between first and second, it was 28 in first and 24 in second.
Not
so
surprised.
It was very close. It was very close. But if we were to take into account the lost point from Friday, it would go towards Halloween to get 25. So Halloween is in second place, and in first place is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Unsurprising.
You know what's very interesting?
What?
Halloween had no worst thing about it. It never had a worse quality. It was always first and second. Nightmare had 2 worst out of all of them.
It had the ending and the score, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, beyond those 2, there's really not a lot bad you can say about Nightmare on Elm Street, I would say. You know?
Yeah. And it's
special effects great. Yeah.
Because like in my review for Halloween on my channel, I gave it a 10. I gave Halloween a 10.
The original, the 1978
original.
Halloween.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
I think
would you still give it a 10?
It did so. Oh, I would still give it a 10. Because Nightmare, I'd also give it 10.
Nice.
I'm not like the teacher that's like, 100 is unattainable, and you know.
Yeah.
Like I think it deserves a 10.
If you're talking about pure impact, if you're talking about pure impact on the slasher genre, it's The Grandfather.
Yeah.
Halloween. You know.
But I agree with you,
That's
Bill.
awesome.
Friday the 13th would get like a 5 out of 10, maybe a 5.5, but
it's just not good. And the first one's supposed to be good.
Like for me, the best parts about it, the score is pretty good.
Yep.
I really like Alice. Like I really like Alice as a character.
Yeah.
I like Kevin Bacon too.
Kevin Bacon's great, and the ending of Friday the 13th is pretty good. And it has some kills, the axe kill, like we've said, the machete, the arrow. It does have its good parts to it, but it's not a good movie.
I will say though, with Friday the 13th, because it is the latest, you know, or it was 84, we said, right?
Which one, Friday the 13th?
No, sorry, 1980. But no, sorry, I think I was saying Nightmare on Elm Street was 84, right?
Yeah. It's good.
You know, it had a lot to build off.
It did.
Maybe that's why it's so good. I guess 13th has no excuse. You know, it really has no excuse. It's the middle child, the sad middle child of the two. You know.
So in terms of the closest to what everything was ranked, I actually got it right, like how I said it, like my thing, like how I felt, and then the numbers ended up being the same for me. When Nightmare
Ryan's
Before
so
Halloween.
prestigious.
I know. It's so cool.
Wow.
So Bill got very close with. He said Halloween first, and Nightmare ended up.
Oh, it
being-
did?
Yeah, you said Halloween was number one for you.
Did I? That's so weird. I think I changed my perception of these movies over the course
I
of
did
the
too.
podcast.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
I did
funny.
too.
And I was gonna say, Nick,
Yeah.
you said Friday was the best for you.
Yeah.
Nightmare was second, and Halloween was third.
Yeah, definitely biased though, just because I'm coming off of watching Friday.
Yeah. So
Like,
if you were to
you know.
switch now, would you switch to how the results ended up, or would you switch it that you would think now Halloween is the best?
No, I would switch it to the results definitely. I'm glad that we've had this talk because it really is like kind of ironed things out for me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Nick has changed his opinion.
Nick liked. Nick liked. Okay, I know you didn't actually like Friday the 13th, but that's just sorry. I'm gonna have to like. I don't know. Today, like I'm gonna in my diary. I'm gonna have to like today. Nick said
Yeah, Friday the 13th
This is so funny to
better than Nightmare on Elm Street and
That's-
Halloween.
Man.
That's my headcanon. You said that, Nick. In my headcanon. You
Great.
said that. I'm gonna say that you said that.
Great.
This is going to be brought up in future podcasts. My children are going
For
to
sure.
how you said that
For
Friday the 13th
sure.
was better.
Yeah.
That's great. But is there any closing thoughts that you have that you want to say about these movies? I mean, I'll say right off the bat, Friday the 13th, you're a piece of shit. No. You're not a good movie. But I will say I love the Steelbook that I have as well.
Wow. Okay, I changed my
That's
answer.
it.
And
It
I
looks
do love
great.
the back. The kill her mommy. Kill her.
Wow. Oh,
That's
wow.
actually
pretty cool.
really, really nice.
Yeah, that's a
Very,
Like
pretty
a-
nice.
very cool Steelbook.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna change my
on the
opinion on the movie.
On the inside, it has like the lake.
Oh,
It's a very cool
That
is-
Steelbook.
Camp Blood. Oh, and
I
it's
do
red.
have. Hold on, wait. Let me get. I have the remake of the Friday the 13th, the 2009,
That is-
which we do
that
need to
is
talk
an-
about that movie at some point.
Oh yeah.
the
Let me
remake.
show
Oh,
you
I should watch it.
Yeah, the remake. But hold
I
on.
should
let me
also
get the
watch
Steelbook.
the most recent Halloween as well. The one from last year,
Oh,
right?
the 20.
19.
What's it? Was it 2019? Was it 2019?
2019. Yeah, whatever.
I think it was- yeah,
Here's
whatever it
the
was around
remake.
that. That was killer cut.
Oh,
No, I have not seen the remake, but I heard it's a much better film.
oh,
Is that true?
Yeah.
So
I would
it's-
say
it's
a
a
better
remake-
film.
wow.
It's a remake of Friday the 13th 1.
No, that's where it's weird. So it tries to tie in 1 to 6. So the remake takes place like just everything 1 to 6, basically. Cutting out when he dies and then comes back to life, all of that. But it is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
between 1 and 6, everything happens.
Okay. There's no, like, they're like, yeah, we can't remake the first one. It stinks, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
And then he
we're
was-
going to do that. Oh, he looks great.
Wow.
He looks great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, Friday the 13th, you're not bad. You're bad. What am I saying? You're bad.
Mhm.
But Nightmare, love my collection of it. Got all 8 movies.
Oh, nice.
Without, of course, the really, really bad remake that they had of Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh,
Oh.
my god.
Yeah, the recent one. Yeah,
Dang it. We have
Oh,
to talk
I
about
thought you
the
were talking-
remakes of these movies.
we should
Wait,
get revisited.
Uh-huh.
I revisited, yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about New Nightmare.
Oh no, Nightmare's good.
Do you not
I love New
Oh, New
Nightmare.
Nightmare's
Oh
great.
my god.
Okay, thank goodness. I thought you were saying you didn't like New Nightmare. I was like,
No.
No,
I was gonna
okay.
say I don't like the remake that they made in like 2010, I think it is, where Robert Englund isn't Freddy. Terrible movie. Such a bad movie. Such a disappointment. But yeah, any other closing thoughts by you guys?
I would like to say, I think something that I've kept in mind with this whole discussion is budget doesn't necessarily mean good
Yeah.
when it comes to classics. Yes, our number one had the highest budget. However, our number two, which was close number two, had the lowest budget.
Mm-hmm. And like
did
I would say,
really-
like I between Nightmare and Halloween, they're so close. They're such good movies. Like
Yeah.
it's not like, oh my god, Nightmare is light years in front of Halloween. That's not the case. We were like although a lot of them were like, oh yeah, Nightmare has to be number 3, Halloween has to be number 2, like with the points, but it wasn't like, oh, this one is so much better than the other one. I was like, no, like this one, it is pretty good. I would have to say it's better than this one, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we would get to Friday and be like, wow, this was really bad in this movie.
No, it's just so easy. I feel like we were playing with like this whole like thing was like a crutch. It's like, yeah, Friday the 13th is the worst. Like, okay, like that's easy.
Oh.
No, but it does have its shining moments. That's funny.
It does. It does.
I don't know.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening or watching this podcast. You know, we appreciate the support. Next week, we're going to have a banger of a podcast. We're not going to spoil it. So you're just going to have to stay tuned and see what we're going to be talking about. Thank you, Bill. And thank you, Nick, for being here. You know, love you guys. Such a great podcast. Thank you to Skippy. Check him out on YouTube. He's been posting Assassin's Creed content, and it is a lot of fun. He is very funny. I highly suggest watching him. And of course, Sam, check out his channel, listen to his music. I really suggest Lucid Daydream. I actually got the pleasure of conducting that piece. So I would say listen to that piece. It's fantastic.
I'm going to go listen to that right now. That sounds amazing. Lucid Daydream.
Yes,
okay.
Lucid Daydream.
Yeah,
It's great. The music video for it is also amazing. But again, thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you for the next podcast. Bye, everyone.